Hey,
Oh, ayun. Hello, what's up?
hello Drew, kumusta?
Okay naman. Grabe, ang ganda. Ang ganda nung finale.
Yeah, that was bonkers, grabe.
Oo.
Unbelievable. Pero residency ako and ayun, whenever I'm bored, I'm reading something or either that or
Residency ng Med? Med ba yan?
no, sa grad school.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
UP.
Anong kinukuha mo?
MA Media Studies in Film. Ayun, I'm currently working on my
Hmm.
thesis. Tapos
Oh,
gagawa ko ng
nice.
mockumentary short. And if it all goes well, baka ibenta ko sa streamer or something. Probably
Nice.
turn it into a mini series, a la Schitt's Creek, something like that.
Okay, good. Nice.
Uh,
Lately,
hopefully,
actually,
hmm?
this week lang, nanood ako ng Tar, yung kay Kate Blanchett.
Oh my God, kamusta?
Ganda, sobrang ganda.
Holy cow.
Ang ganda.
Grabe. I'd have to wait for like a month and a half kasi January 23 pa yon.
Papalabas ba sa sine dito?
Yeah, for real.
Hindi na ako makahintay. Actually, di ko alam na it's gonna, show sa theaters pala.
Yeah, pero matagal-tagal pa tayo. Oh my God,
Yeah.
nakakaingit din. Hindi kasing consequences with PVOD eh. Parang nandyan yung temptation kahit ako nga rin.
Yeah, actually, as much as I want to, see it sa theaters din. Yung mga movies that need the revenue and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Tagal din lumabas kasi dito. Tsaka yun nga,
Oo.
yung ang bilis na rin dumating sa VOD. Like, just a
Lalo,
month.
oo. Or actually, wala pang a month eh. I mean, like, in case Black Adam, tapos sabihin na lang natin, yung 90-day na regular naging 45 na. 45 na is like the basic. Flop yung movie, they're just gonna drop it eventually. And, ayun, ang swerte din ng mga sinehan dito kasi, nagpalabas sila. I mean, ang swerte din ng mga moviegoers since we got, the menu showing right now and Bones and All. So if if you have free time, if you can check on them, I think
Yeah.
it's worth your time and your commute.
Mm.
I'm
Actually,
supposed
yun
to
din
watch
eh.
it
Ang bilis din kasi mawala sa showing, 'di ba? Like,
Oo eh, lalo na sa Ayala, chinek ko, wala
mm,
na after a week.
unlike before na it takes like at least 2 weeks, 'di ba? Ngayon,
Or 3 weeks.
hindi na umaabot kaya
I know, right? As in, nung high school ako or grade school, yung Million Dollar Baby, nanood kami ng family ko like a month later and it's still showing, tas packed pa rin yung mga sinihan.
yeah, wala. Only Marvel gets the mga Disney stuff.
Absolutely. Kahit nga yung mga ibang blockbusters nga rin tinatanggal agad like Bullet Train din.
Oh, actually, yun. Nawala rin siya agad. Pati yung decision to leave, I was supposed to see it. Tapos, yun, biglang nawala.
Grabe, yung yung Fantastic Beasts at saka yung Massive Talent. Kung lang siya, if it didn't made word of mouth, matatanggal yun in a week.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yun. Ang ganda
Yeah.
ng Tar.
Yeah.
Talagang sobrang mesmerized ako sa pinapanood ko.
I should see it soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pati
POD
daw
siya.
Triangle of Sadness, it's also in PVOD.
Meron na. Sige,
Yeah.
maybe I'll see.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just, I mean, given the obvious circumstances, parang, just take it and just watch it na rin, di ba?
Yeah, especially, wala eh. Lalo na ngayon, ang taas na ng cost ng ticket.
It's just ridiculous din eh. Parang,
Diba?
gets ko sana kung kung mataas din yung sahod natin and we're in better circumstances or for
Yeah.
example
Oh.
like in Japan na na okay lang kahit 750 kasi hindi din naman nagtataas dito, parang okay lang na mataas pero if you hike it every 3 to 6 months it's
Yeah.
become difficult.
The wages don't get ano eh, hike din.
Tas
Prices
wala
lang.
Saka wala rin mga discounts, wala rin parang mga matinee. Like for example, when I went to Paris 4 years ago with my family, yung mga daytime nila, pag yung mga downtimes, binababaan nila from 10 euros to 5
Mm.
euros.
Yung mga ano, non-peak hours. Dapat nga
Mm,
ganun din dito. Constant lang yung
diba?
price dito regardless of what time you watch.
Kasi these people, parang they're kind of backwards then pag sa mga ganung bagay. They'll just take the conservative and convenient approach because they don't even have the time or they don't want to bother to think kasi wala din naman sila sa spot nila eh. Parang hindi naman kami affected. I mean, so what, right? And
Mm.
this media blogger personality na din pa na parang people are complaining tapos maawa naman kayo sa mga film workers. This guy assumed na parang kala mo naman they're being compensated fairly eh kahit taasan din naman. Are we even aware dun sa cost breakdown din? Parang are they just hiking it up for the sake of improving their facilities at saka pay? Parang, or are they just merely ripping them off? And then why some people are getting pissed at Gerald within kahit
Ang
nga mga,
hirap eh kasi naman media he gets to watch for free. So
yun nga eh, I mean, sobrang out of touch, I'm sorry.
it's easy to say those things. If you
Di
get
ba?
showings for free. Kaya
Tapos,
yung tickets ngayon at least 350 na, in major malls. Dati, I think pre-pandemic pa nga lang below 300 yun eh. Ngayon
oo,
wala ka nang makikitang ganong price.
dun nga sa area nila GP, parang 500 pesos na yung Ayala Makati.
Oo,
And
grabe.
grabe
Ayala.
ako, in my place, I got really so lucky na yung terraces pa ay below 300 at saka medyo okay-okay
Mm.
pa.
Sa Green Hills kasi ako usually nanonood. Doon medyo 320 ganun. Pero
Mm.
slowly slowly creeping up na rin. Lalo na pag ano, I noticed din na pag like blockbuster yung palabas, like Marvel or other major studio, mas mahal siya.
Oo eh. And no one's speaking up against it. Parang wala na ba-bother. Parang others are just take it, hayaan na natin, magtiyaga na lang tayo. I mean, if we keep acting that way, tataas at tataas and then darating sa point na where we may probably see a movie once in a year or once in every 6 months or quarterly. Di ba? Can you imagine that
Mm.
possibility?
Wala, I'm just wala. Actually, kino-consider ko na rin to cut down my showings sa ano, sa cinema. Wala eh, ganun. It's reality.
Absolutely. Yun nga, that's the sad truth. And I think we should hold the line sa mga ganyan scenarios then.
Oo. And plus
Kasi,
yun nga, yung like after like 30 to 45 days may VOD na, 'di ba? So,
oo. So,
plus.
wala rin choice. And also, you see why people are resorting to DVDs na rin or mga buy and sell Blu-ray from the States and other countries is
Yeah.
they're close to prices na rin. So, ako if ever I have median wage tapos I don't have time at saka namamahalan ako and I don't really have that luxury to watch movies as much as I can without being disappointed, then probably I'll go VOD or if I'm gonna grab a movie I want, bibili na ako ng Blu-ray or DVD copy of that one kasi may mura din, di ba?
Yeah, actually, ako rin na I yung if I really really love the movie, I buy the Blu-ray. Like the last two Blu-rays I bought was The Batman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Tarantino.
Oh wow, brilliant. Actually,
Mm.
yung Black Friday sale, I'm gonna send you a photo. Parang may nakita ko sa FB, parang mga $9 to $10 yung mga Blu-ray
Mm.
nila.
Nice.
I'm not I'm not sure if you have 4K player, pero expect mo na rin siguro you'd probably see titles na na $10. Ayun. Or
That's
something
nice.
like
Good.
that.
Ah, sige. PM mo na lang.
Yeah. All right. Sige.
Yeah. Anyway, we can let's start.
Good evening. Welcome to FlipGeeks podcast. I'm Mico and
I'm Drew.
from Entertainment Team, and we're here to discuss the two-part finale or the last two episodes of Andor. They're now streaming on Disney Plus, and it's available now in in the Philippines, thankfully.
Yes, it just
So hot.
launched like November 17, I think. A
Oo.
week ago.
Mm-mm.
Mapapanood niyo lahat ng Disney stuff dito sa Philippines. Like
And there's no excuse to miss out uh that gem of a show for real.
yeah, I can't say it enough. Like this is peak Star Wars for me. I think ito yung Andor is what George Lucas envisioned. When he made Star Wars before, yung message na gusto niyang ipalabas. I think Andor really got it right.
And the image allegory, not just, inserting the lore and references,
Mm,
that, worked well sa mga series, sa mga works ni Filoni, but then it kind of shows its staleness na rin as seen in the Book of Boba Fett. And sadly, yung season 2 na Mandalorian, while it's a solid entry, and Obi-Wan Kenobi din, yung kay Deborah Chow.
yeah, and yung Book of Boba Fett, it's okay, but if you're gonna watch it, you should watch the Mandalorian episodes. I think it's in the second half. Yun. Kasi
Kasi they
if
play like,
if you're gonna see season 3 of Mandalorian, it's a big gonna be a big gap if you miss
mm-mm.
the Boba Fett episodes. Because
Even,
ang daming important na nangyari dun eh.
oo, at saka yung Husu, yung mga characters, not even a 2-minute recap can really get you the gist or
Yeah.
freshen up eh.
Mm. But yeah, and so Andor's finale called Rick's Road just aired this week, and it's the culmination of everything that's been set up the whole season. This is where I think this is because from the start nakita natin it's slowly Cassian Andor is slowly being radicalized.
Mm-mm.
Yung mindset niya about the empire. It's already there. Like from the start, you can see na he already hates the empire. He knows that the empire is like just slobs, who doesn't care
Mm-mm.
about anything. But this time talaga, I think dito na siyang full blown rebel.
Oo, lalo na yung shot sa dulo, yung palitan ng usapan nila ni Luthen, my God, that was chef's kiss.
Mm.
When Luthen reacted, oh my God, I think he's qualified, he's got the job. It's not about survival when he started it out there. It's not just, you know, doing jobs, to get the end of his bargain. This is the culmination of, finding purpose then in, the entire year, yung mga pinagdaanan niya, that exchange in the ship was everything. Parang, it's a nice bookend din. Parang,
Mm.
alam
Yeah.
when someone uh, tests you for a job, you get this series, parang
Yeah.
background checks, tapos sa dulo, di ba, parang tatawagin ka ng interviewer dun from that same room na in-interview
Uh,
ka.
Job offer
And,
na.
oh, ito na. After 1 year na pinagdaanan niya you know, from getting out of Ferrix, tapos helping ragtag rebels and forming unlikely friendships or na love-hate relationships sa Aldani, and then enduring prison labor in Narkina, and then going back there, and then dun niya na-realize na ano these things that he's been going through is parang ito yung niya, this is his calling. I remember one quote na parang pinasa ni Marva from Cassian.
Mm.
Wait, I'm gonna look for it. Sinabi sa kanya ng mutual friend nila Cassian.
Speaking of Marva, so this just a little background on the finale, no. So while Miko's looking for it, so this in this episode, it's Marga's so-called funeral. So the people of Ferrix are gonna hold march in Marva's memory. So marching sila sa a road called Rick's Road doon. And then
Mm-mm.
so it's a tradition of the daughters of Ferrix, no? Like it's like a group of the most prominent people in the planet, yun. And of course Marva was like their leader, parang ganon, sa prominent member, senior member of the group. So since she died, syempre yung funeral niya is gonna be epic, you know. But of course, since it's finale, things are things got really really spicy, so to speak. The Empire's anticipating Andor's gonna come since uh, it's her mother. So the Empire's there, Luthen is there, Cyril is there. So lahat talaga ng characters that we know from the uh, show converge in that one spot.
Well, going to Ferrix, the concept Ferrix not just some insert planet, to introduce the characters. It has its own culture, its people, its community, and I like how it's all built up, diba?
Yeah,
It's saka yung context of being at a junkyard town. It really depicts a communal context din, na parang sinabi ni Marva sa pre-recorded speech niya sa funeral niya, parang you know parang we had each other. We had parang Ferrix was us, 'di ba? Parang Ferrix, parang wait.
yeah. It's like it's the people, it's the citizens who make the town. No?
Mm.
Kahit na scrapyard, landfill, junkyard town lang,
Mm.
junkyard planet lang sila. It's the
Saka yung
people
pagkaka-built.
who make it, who make it go around.
Saka yung pagkaka-built niya, parang kita-kita mo, parang kapit bisig, the way it looks. Na parang Ferrix wouldn't be without its people, and that's the beauty of it. Parang what's interesting with Ferrix is it doesn't have any elaborate rich lore or parang backstory or myth na
Mm.
parang regarded as yung mga folk tales and legends. Parang Ferrix is about people and parang how they built this junkyard town for themselves to make themselves out of the living out of um to make themselves their own livelihood, and then nag-thrive sila out of at saka yung pagkapit-bisig nila, and from becoming a stable, you know um uh commerce area.
Mm. Mm.
Dun din nagkaroon ng strong familial bonds, which is really, I think, intriguing and intimate and personal, and it feels relatable. It's one of those tales na um, that's been told many times, but it feels familiar. Kahit narinig mo na ilang beses, parang it still touches you kasi yung idea ng community is what makes it intriguing. There's no elaborate um, explanation. It's more finding relatability on real life relationships and pagdating sa
Yeah.
community at saka sa people around you.
Yeah,
And kita-kita.
hindi nga nila masyado na-explain yung culture niya. Like they just show it. Like for example, yung hammer guy sa tower.
Oh, yeah, parang akala ko nga lang parang extra lang, pero parang it has a
Oh,
deeper
it
meaning.
has a deeper significance to the culture in Ferrix, like some sort of signal, but it's more of a like, tradition na nila na, like for example, may something important na nangyayari, like yung
Mm.
sa funeral nga, and of course, like I think every morning para rin siyang bell na, it's a new day for us here in Ferrix.
Mm.
Like
A new day to make a living.
yeah, it's kasi like you said, make a living, no, it's a labor town, eh. Like, most are
Mm.
just laborers then, you know, like everything is just simple people. Some are just na no, the empire just took over but it's a very very peaceful commerce town talaga.
Mm. And the beauty of it is physically, kung titignan mo yung sets, it feels very British. You know, the fact that they shot on location at saka kita-kita mo pa lang na it has its own unique charm kasi shoot mo at some remote English countryside
Yeah.
na medyo wet and dry and cold that it has its own thing then yung I think the weather also added this visual appeal na yung
Mm.
sa citizens na parang they're gonna withstand whatever climate is there. Parang makikita din doon yung yung resilience din ng community, living in those kinds of conditions.
Yeah, and pansin ko rin talaga na lahat sila like very dirty, Merong
Mm.
oil grease sa face, yung clothes
Mm.
nila, it's not as, as well kept as say compared mo dun sa mga imperial officers
Oo.
that's walking around, very formal.
Oo.
But sila like
Oo.
parang jacket lang and stuff. And meron silang ano like may they have a color. I'd say like an aesthetic or a
Oo nga.
tone palette
Oh,
choice. It's very brown, mga ganon, like
brown,
beige
red.
colors of like yellow, gold, mga ganon. Yung
Mm.
nagbe-blend into their environment talaga.
Oo, and nandun rin yung Latin American influence then of using bright colors such as red, orange, and brown, and some dark colors rin that contrasts sa workplaces nila.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and ganda.
Oo, at saka yung poncho and the way they incorporate yung working class image in a sci-fi narrative that it feels working class and at the same time it feels Star Wars then, especially those ponchos. And then it's not extravagant pero it's practical then and it's dignified. Lalo na yung sa funeral, grabe, that was really impressive. Makita mo doon yung Ferrex, yung community, parang how they look out for one another and how they dress, yung parang how they present themselves. Parang kahit they're working class, parang their way of putting these outfits, they present themselves na well put. It's they pay respects, they pay tribute then. That's their way of showing their love. There's in this grit environment they live in, these conditions, parang amidst of it, parang there's this warmthness. I think that's what's makes the community then, vivid and
Yeah,
seen.
meron talagang sense of community, just not just like di porket laborers lang sila,
Mm.
they have each other's backs eh. Napansin ko rin like everyone knows everyone,
Oo.
like for example when you ask someone who's this, they can direct you to the right person,
Mm.
especially like nakita rin natin through Andor's eyes na
Mm.
from his perspective, even if he's wanted by the empire, not like the empire, that they're just
Oo.
gonna kill you for talking to this to Andor, like what we've
Oo.
seen with Bix. She got
Mm.
tortured
Oh God, that's
continuously, and then
oo.
even if alam nilang may threat na empire looming in their heads, whenever Andor, calls them, communicates, like yung isang guy, I forgot his name, sorry,
Ako rin
but
there's so
yung,
many characters.
ang dami kasi nila. So yung guy na nag-break ng news na patay na si Marva,
Yeah.
yung mga simple things na gano'n that they have each other's backs, kahit na in
Mm.
exile si Andor basically.
And lalo na sa moments na yun, yung sense of community nila, parang they give room then to confer to comfort, to inform. I think adds the human element to it, which really is intriguing, lalo na yung mga simpleng bagay na yon, lalo na yung sa episode 11, yung
Mm-mm.
yung sinabi sa kanya on the news of her mother's demise. There's no dramatic music. Parang it's just, yung camera lang naka-focus. Parang OTS lang kay Diego Luna, and then doon sa kausap niya. Those little things na parang the way how those conversation is played out.
Yeah.
Parang, alam mo, when a family member calls you, parang, I think the simplicity makes it more felt.
Mm-mm.
Ah,
Especially with Diego Luna, grabe. Yung
oh God.
the way he acts, just yung when he's grieving, he's not like like bawling his eyes out, but you can see the pain in
Oo.
his eyes. Eh. Like
Saka yung mouth movements niya, yung paggalaw niya, and, you know,
just when he learned the death of Marva in episode 11's ending, he's just
mm
looking out at the sea, the ocean. It's a great parallel to his actual death in Rogue One, just
Oo.
staring
And
out in the ocean.
parang it added more meaning pag nirewatch mo ulit yung Rogue One, which is also in Disney Plus, 'di ba? Parang
Mm-hmm.
mas parang it gives another meaning then, parang ang grief then, it's not always about crying then, it's about contemplating, looking at your surroundings then, which is really amazing, beautifully shot sa Crevice. I don't know how is it's pronounced. Basta parang sa beach town sa UK.
Mm-hmm.
Grabe, the way they use that location, it's just, you know, how they made it simple, realistic, and intimate. At the same time, it feels Star Wars is just surreal.
Mm-hmm. Grabe,
Ah,
ganda. And
yeah.
ibang ibang klase talaga with Diego Luna. Yeah. He
Oo,
really
and
nailed he really nailed this. Like even in Rogue
mm-mm.
One, actually in Rogue One okay na siya eh. Ang galing din ng role niya. But this one in this show he really fleshed it out even further, no. Like
And
nung sa Rogue
saka,
One kasi well I he's already a great character but it's
oo,
but here like he in the show he really became one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
me too. I think Diego brings some relatability, some humanity, and vulnerability to it, and that's the beauty of it. And um, saka lalo na yung um, he's in, this quiet moments, lalo na yung pag-inform sa kanya nung death ni Marva, and how he really make use of, his surroundings to act. I think that's the testament of an actor na parang he has a grasp, of these moments, and he really makes use of it as an actor. Then hindi lang nag-realize sa script. And I think that's a testament of an actor when, when he really goes out of his skill set,
Mm.
when he really familiarizes with the surroundings, yung costume, yung location, the set designs. I think that's what Diego really does best.
Mm.
He really
And,
does everything that everything uh everything within his reach.
yeah, actually the whole cast is great.
Oh
They
yeah,
really
it's fantastic.
they really play their roles well. Especially
Excellent then.
Stellan Skarsgård and Genevieve O'Reilly, especially as Mon
Oo.
Mothma.
Ah, yeah,
Like,
lalo na doon sa dulo. Alam mo yung binethrow yung anak niya, yung she was at the breaking point, but at the same time, she has to keep composure. Pero, those little things na yung subtle stiffness din eh. Parang,
yeah,
parang
she has
nag-break.
that face lockdown. Actually,
Oo eh.
every episode, like she knows she's being watched, but she can't really break, you know, no rest for the wicked, as they say. Like talagang
Absolutely.
she can't let her guard down. You know,
Oo.
meron siyang like she has to have a pleasant face, but she's really in pain already.
Oo, and she has to be mindful din of her surroundings kasi yung driver niya rin ay ISB or ISB Lucky or something like that, 'di ba?
Yeah, actually ang galing nga nung ginawa niya last nung
Oo.
finale na
Oo.
she knows that the driver's listening. So,
Mm.
kunwari, niya. Like, she's
Oo.
acting like a dumb senator, sorry. And,
Oo.
but they don't know, like, she's playing them out talaga.
Oo, and the way how Genevieve O'Reilly plays with those lines, yung wordplay is, she brings out, yung actor side ni Mon Mothma as a senator din. Kasi di ba pag senator din, you have to make make appearances then, and you have
Yeah,
to
you have to
to
play
be
politics talaga.
oo, you have to choose your words then, and parang basically role play then. I think that's the beauty of it then, eh. And how she uses wordplay on, sa dialogue niya to keep her on guard. Parang, every sentence parang naging ano niya, it's her spear and shield at the same time.
Mm. And actually, she's like this, like yung progression ng character niya, like same with Andor actually, like uh when you said na the character relationships changed over time, over the
Mm-mm.
season. For Andor, he really became rebel, but with Mon Mothma, rebel na siya from the start as a senator, but
Mm-mm.
she realized na it can't be always peaceful.
O-
Some things have, some sacrifices really have to be made to
Oo.
for this kind of rebellion.
At saka you're not uh, get away scot-free. Parang there will always be some consequences then sa mga actions mo. And, you can't just throw in and donate cash to some cause. Parang it's gonna crawl back to you eventually. Curious din ako, dun sa 400,000 credits, parang I think I missed that bit.
So uh, I think the ISB is watching her
Mm-mm.
because she's making really really large withdrawals and
Mm-mm.
putting it to charity, like as a cover. But I think napansin ng ISB na it's kind of suspicious. So what she
Oo.
did was to uh I, f- I, f- I forgot the guy, yung parang
Yung
gangster.
yung ano ba yung Chandrillian banker. Yung ano
uh
ko kasi, yung may isang part doon na na-miss ko, yung minention ko kanina na parang nawalan daw siya ng 400K credits and I didn't quite catch it kung sino kumuha or parang did they just really left it ambiguous?
no, I think that's something na like that's yung kailangan nilang yung yan yung last withdrawal niya, I think. And since it's really really big, so it's kind of suspicious. So what she did
Oh.
is to uh it's kind of ruthless, but she pinned gambling
Ah,
addiction to Perrin, her husband. So
oo nga eh.
it's kind of like she played na you're gambling
Oo.
again and blah blah blah.
Oh.
So the
Oh
spy is
yeah.
gonna say na, oh, I think it's just
Oo.
may gambling addiction yung asawa ni Mon Mothma. That's why
Oo.
ang daming withdrawals na nangyayari. And
Oo,
then at the same time yung gangster betrothal with
oo,
her
yung
daughter.
banker
So
din.
para lang just to cover her tracks talaga.
Oo.
It's a genius play by Mon Mothma. Kahit na
And
ayaw niya yung play na yun, she had
lalo
to
na yung
do it.
saka yung paggamit niya dun sa setback na yun eh. Come to think of it then, parang I think ano rin eh, kasi pag inamin niya directly na bigla nawalan ng 400K without a trace, parang she's gonna be arrested. So parang it's a clever way of using your setback then to pin your husband.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Grabe,
I,
that was like
actually,
well
I didn't.
played. Parang that's
Actually, I didn't.
so
I didn't think na gagawin niya yun.
Oo
Like,
eh.
to actually, you know, throw her husband under the bus like that. Kahit
It's
na,
amazing.
kahit na actually we saw na medyo parang loveless marriage nga siya. She's in a rough,
Mm-mm.
bad situation in her marriage, but to actually do it, so I don't know.
And and going back dun sa introduction pa lang, 'di ba? Yung parang in-invite din ng husband niya yung mga ano niya, yung mga rivals niya sa Senate. The way how it played dun sa dulo, it's like, you know, it's not also me taking advantage of my setback and, redirecting it to you. Pero parang, in a way, parang naging banet niya na rin eh. 'Di ba? That's their first interaction eh. Parang in-invite niya yung mga rivals niya, and then in the end, gonna pin you down din sa mga vices mo.
Mm. Yeah, so
Well
actually
played.
she's becoming more and more, like, I think, uh, she's taking a playbook from Luthen and Saw, kasi
Mm.
nakita natin they are different types of rebels eh. Like, Mon
Mm.
Mothma is more like a pacifist, a political. Sila Luthen more on like accelerationist, but si
Mm.
Saw naman is more anarchist. So, but
Oo.
they all hate the Empire, but they do it in different ways.
Mm. And on Luthen's case then it's yung espionage play niya, and dun din niya na-realize na, you know, it's not also going to be easy, which also similar kay it's not gonna be rainbows all the time.
Yeah, like
And
nung he had to sacrifice Anton Krieger,
oo.
30 men dead.
Grabe. As in, it's a classic espionage trope, parang cut all loose ends, pero it also subverted in a beautiful way that pushes the character forward, and it it ano rin eh, it's parang it subvert in a way na um finding assurance then sa relationships mo with people around you.
Yeah,
And
but
that's what he found kay Cassian eh, yung assurance, na parang hindi ko pala siya kailangang eliminate at all. Parang he's proven himself. Parang he's right for the job. Parang sige, bigay ko na yung job offer.
yeah, it's their relation, the way their relationship changed. It started as a transactional relationship na, hey, I need a mercenary for this job. Like very compartmentalized yung information na binibigay niya kay Cassian.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, and then afterwards, after the job, papatayin, papatayin niya dapat, like, di
Oo,
ba?
di ba?
Because he's a loose end. So,
Oo eh.
he really
Saka
wants
pag nahuli
to,
siya, he's gonna talk and sell them out.
yeah,
Probably.
because yeah, he's the only one who knows Luthen. Di ba? Kahit si Bix, hindi niya kilala si Luthen, kahit si Cyril.
Mm-mm.
Although
Oo.
Cyril knows his face, kilala yung di niya
The
kilala yung
person
name.
behind it.
Just
Oo.
just an alias na Axis, ganun. So,
Mm-mm.
wala.
And eto na rin, going then to Cyril Karn and the Empire and Ferrix. Before those, naalala mo yung monologue ni Marva, yung
Yeah.
pre-recorded hologram. It's a nice callback din sa Rogue One din eh. 'Di ba? Parang
Mm-mm.
it propelled the stakes. It pushed the story for the climax forward. Sabi niya na parang hindi parang the Empire isn't just going to visit here. They're going to stay. It's a growing disease eh. And if I had a chance na to wake up early, to fight the Empire, I will. parang hindi sila aalis, so you'll have to fight the Empire. I think Fiona Shaw did a fantastic job dun sa monologue na yun, and I love how Tony Gilroy and the director really made the most out of, uh, out of a dead character, and Fiona just did it, really threw in
Mm.
her acting chops.
Yeah, actually ang galing. Ngayon ko lang nakita na yung very emotional acting niya. Cause I know her as Aunt Petunia sa Harry Potter, di ba?
And Carolyn in Killing Eve, she also
Oo, yeah,
plays
oo.
a handler na medyo similar din kay Luthen.
Yeah, to and her to play like a vulnerable old lady, but yeah, who was a former rebel then.
Oo, and parang how badass is it na na parang she's given this chance then to in her last breath na lumabang kayo, wake up, to do, parang to give these people a wake up call. I think it's free for every actor, to be given this kind of defining moments, and you can really tell kahit dun pala sa monologue na yun na Fiona Shaw understood that character and really made it her own dun in those tiny bits.
Mm.
And it started in a big riot, and then and yung brick na na hawak
Oh,
nung isang Ferix
si
netizen.
Brasso. It's si
Yeah,
Brasso,
grabe.
yeah.
That was amazing. Parang how cool would it be, for example, if your remains was used to, to beat up a fascist and a cop, di ba? Parang that's
Mm.
really badass then.
And yeah, this is also one of the the best, one of the great things Andor did. Yung payoff, it's really earned. They set up uh this empire na talagang there's a revolution brewing na, and it just needs the right push to wake the people up into a full blown revolution, and
Mm-mm.
the payoff here in the finale is really talagang like I was at the edge of my seat, dun sa monologue ni Marva. And
Yeah, that was.
nung sumigaw na sila, talagang, oh my God,
Yeah,
oh shit,
God,
talagang,
goosebumps then.
oh,
Um,
goosebumps talagang.
I was watching it around 1:30 in the morning, and talagang I was shook dun sa mga so chaotic, hindi elaborate na set pieces, parang pinakita dito na rebellion isn't built on monologue and um, ideologies and uh, principles in echo chambers, but they're built on on getting fed up, and
Yeah,
that's
from
great.
oppression talaga eh. Oo.
Oh, di ba?
And it doesn't matter if, like you have nothing or you have everything. These are just labor people, simple people. Wala silang weapons, 'di ba?
Oh, and they're just people who want to live their lives at mamuhay ng mapayapa. And and
Just when they reach,
gosh,
it just shows na when people reach their breaking point.
oo
Like
eh, 'di
they're
ba?
gonna rebel. For like dun sa ano rin, yung Narkina 5 prison, 'di ba?
Yeah, no way out. No way. Ay,
Oo,
one way out. Way,
one way
ano?
out. Like,
Way out, one way out. Gosh, that bit,
oh,
you
they
know.
didn't have anything, but they're successful. Ganun.
Oo, talagang tulungan sila eh. That's the camaraderie. That's the beauty of it eh. And um, Gilroy manages to capture Star Wars in a way na he takes broad strokes of its meanings, its text, its definitions, 'di ba? All
And it
what
just shows it just shows na the people of Ferrix really respected Barva for them to actually, rebel and,
mm
risk their
At
lives
saka
for a cause.
Oo, at saka alam mo yung sa tipping point na yun, it gave another meaning din dun sa ano, dun sa outfits nila at saka yung music, you know, how they show decency, how they should show that they're well put together kasi binigyan sila ng opportunity. And then for that chance to deprive of you know those time na magmourn sa
Mm. Yeah.
kay Marva and then to trample it down. Parang I think that was the breaking point eh. Parang okay, we've had enough. Parang we did our best na mag-adjust sa inyo and to comply with you. And this is us really getting enough of you people.
Yeah, grabe.
Gosh, di ba? Ano nga
Yeah,
yung saying
actually,
na yun? Fuck around and find out.
yeah, fuck around and find out, and the Empire found out.
Girl, and yung ano, kahit wala nang weapon, kahit anong makita nila, talagang sinaslam nila yung mga stormtroopers and imperial officers, sinahampas ng
Yeah. Oh, kahit ano. And that kid, who made the bomb talagang woo, yung Kobe, tinawa niya yung bomb and then boom. Grabe, ang ganda. Talagang ano yung it
Mm.
really showed how revolutions start. Like just just continued oppression by the empire and yung complacency din ng empire because their
Oh,
arrogance like Andor keeps saying diba they're just pigs who are very content with their
lives.
positions like they're not expecting these people to actually fight back so kahit sila overwhelmed din eh.
Excuse me, Drew. Balik tayo dun sa ano, sa kid part kasi parang medyo nag-chop yung line.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's just one of my favorite moments din dun sa
Mm.
revolution na nangyari sa Ferrix, Like,
Oo.
we see him actually making the bomb in the
At saka
beginning.
the way it's shown na parang mga random, parang at first akala mo random inserts lang and and taking its time, you
Mhm,
know,
yeah.
I think it had a more meaningful payoff. Eh. Parang curious ka, parang why is it uh why is this insert shot keep appearing? Para siguro one or two times pero nung umabot na third, fourth and fifth, parang oh my god, interesting. Ano kayang ginagawa nito? Doon ka curious. Parang what's he doing? And then when he did that, that bomb, when he uh
Through the
switched the
bomb.
fuse
Uh,
through the bomb, parang oh my god, yun pala, 'di ba?
yeah. The Empire didn't really know what to do, especially si Deidre. Like,
Oo.
when she was caught in the mob, grabe, she was fearing for her life, She was
Oo,
presented she was presented as this ruthless, calm ISB officer. Then to see
oo,
her just, you know, f- uh, cowering about fearing for her
oo.
life,
Oo, yung
grabe.
na-stampede siya, yung parang na ano siya when she got caught dun sa crowd na yun. That was terrifying then. Parang, you know, this riot scene only show na parang no one's safe. Na parang pag dun ka and then you messed up, parang you're gonna get the beating. Then,
Mm.
that moment, akala ko nga mamamatay siya eh. Parang due to stampede. Eh, that was scary. And, you know, yung pag-display ni Dennis Go nung panic, fear, yung experience nung claustrophobia na yun. Parang you feel for her then kahit even if you're repelled by her actions din eh. Kasi parang you're not seeing Dedra dun sa scene na yun as an imperial but as a person na parang paano kung nandun ka
Yeah, you can
tas
see her shaking, like
oh,
literally shaking.
parang you're about to die from that moment din eh. Parang yung camera work parang medyo nakakatakot din, 'di ba? Parang it's like it came out from a horror film or something.
Yeah, actually, when a revolution like that happens, like a riot fight, like di mo
Mm.
alam eh. Hindi mo rin
Oo.
masabi yung ano mangyayari.
Oo, pero yung pagkaka-crumple sa kanya, parang alam mo yung mga pag swarm ka by zombies, yung
Mm,
parang usual trope sa mga movies,
yeah.
yung parang ganon. And then, few moments later, bigla kang grinab ng fascist simp slash cop lover named Cyril Karn.
Yeah, actually. Grabe. Ano kaya mangyayari sa relationship
Yun nga
nila?
eh, dun ako nako-curious eh. Parang si Cyril Karn is this ano eh, is this geek for ISB, 'di ba? At saka
Simp
yung
siya,
arc,
grabe, very simp.
it's disturbing, it's horrifying at how he displays his genuine love na kahit alam mong um, you shouldn't really look up din sa ano niya sa pagsamba niya sa sa oppressive fascist state, pero you feel genuine to his actions kasi he shows it wholeheartedly, and that's what makes him a villain that's love to hate.
Yeah, he's a fascist through and through.
Oo.
But by his actions talaga fascist siya. But like
Oo.
he still feels that, same human
Mm.
that natural feelings humans have, like
Oo.
he obviously likes
Yung
Deidre.
kinship. Oo, pati
Ganun.
yun. He loves Deidre and he loves the idea of of being in this fastest world kasi parang vina-validate yung niya, yung mga beliefs niya eh. Parang si Deidre din in a way na hindi lang siya, I think probably love interest, pero parang self-inserted avatar of his whatever uh, philosophical or political ideology
Mm,
that
yeah.
has been yearning. And outside of politics then, parang Cyril Karn is um, isn't only someone na na fascist sim, parang
Mm,
he's so relatable in a way na parang you'll see um this general existence of bootlickers. Parang there's a serial Karn in every field, in every circle, in every career. Sabihin na lang
yeah.
natin for example, sa movie circle, yung press, na sometimes they simp at the filmmakers, they act biased in a way na parang nagbumukha na silang PR, and
Mm,
there's no objective view then at dun sa work nila. And I think that's what makes Cyril then really tick off.
yeah. And of course, yung relationship niya with her mother. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure maraming makaka-relate doon. We have
Mga
that. Like, I think it's also why he's like that.
spoiled brat nepo baby, who's
Yeah,
got
but at the same time, stage mother, helicopter
oh
mom. Now it's always breathing down your neck. Like, so I think it's how he got radicalized.
mm and also radicalized nga din to the point na na he even took matters in his own hands in an unconventional way na kinuha pa ang credit card ng nanay niya just to get into Ferex.
Yeah, cause obviously his mother doesn't believe in him. So like he
Oo.
always has this urge to always prove himself to other people. Like ganun
Mm.
ganun siya in a very fascist way.
Parang in a way then parang Cyril is one of those children who never really who physically grew up but never really grew up then sa
Mature, nagbago
oo,
yung ideologies, mga gano'n.
of parang hindi na rin nawala yung niya, um yung yun, kasi ang to be
Yung
mature then is to have your own agency, is to have your own voice eh. Parang
oo,
hindi na nalakihan ni Cyril Karn yung face ng, for example, us as kids, as finding approval sa peers natin, sa family natin. Then so with Cyril then parang it also shows then a different perspective of, a member of community finding approval then, and he goes out of his nest then to find a collective or someone that would validate him, which is Dead in the ISB.
Yeah, and also I think kasi because he has some form of power because he was an officer kahit na medyo local lang sa Morlano
Mm-mm,
1 and then
mm-mm,
given position sa parang office sa Coruscant sa Empire mismo yun. I think having that power actually ano rin mm, na ano rin parang nagkaroon din siya ng power tripping tendencies.
mm-mm. I think it also come up from his upbringing then. He's sheltered,
Yeah,
Nepo baby
sheltered.
who referred him
Yeah.
to a job. He didn't have to worry for job opportunities or a day to get by. So I think it also comes din sa of him being reinforced din sa pagmamahal niya sa Empire because he's never experienced hardships.
Yeah, so that's why he's always trying to prove himself to like Deidre or other people or his boss dati. Kasi, like you said na it's just handed to him. So parang he has this like he has to prove himself na he deserves this position and and stuff like that.
Ano rin it comes from of yung environment na nakalakihan niya of privilege and entitlement and this sheltered worldview that reinforces his bias toward the empire.
Mm.
One of those rich kids na who vehemently defend and protect conservative right-wing ideologies,
Yeah.
who never had to work their ass off 9 to 5 kasi a silver spoon has been handed down to them.
Yeah, and also they're very out of touch with the common people talaga. So
Mm-mm,
they don't know the day-to-day lives of ordinary people, what their hardships are, what they're going through daily. Like
mm-mm.
just commuting alone. For example, commuting alone here
Oo,
compared to having a car, mga ganun.
oo. Like for example, those rich kids who would disown people na sumunod na lang sa government. Well, kasi you can say that because you have the privilege na to afford commute or have someone drive you or pay your grab or your angkas. So in Cyril Karn's case is he believes what the empire's doing kasi he's never experienced it.
Yeah, so I think he grew up in Coruscant, so
Mm,
I think dun talaga from the environment with an empire led planet like Coruscant,
mm.
like the
Life is
head
good, 'di ba?
like the Washington DC of the galaxy. Nandun yung
Oo.
empire.
Or in the Philippines, the BGC of the galaxy. Oh, lalo na yung mga nababasa, side note lang, yung mga nababasa kong out of touch tweets na kung gaano kasarap ang buhay sa BGC. That's how I get an impression then kay Cyril and those snobby Coruscanti people.
Yeah, it's they're living in a bubble basically.
Oh, they're ivory towers.
Mm. Yeah, Miko, what are your best moments like sa buong season? What are your favorites?
Well, there's a lot to tell, and this podcast wouldn't be enough. But if there's one thing that I would note down would be the Aldani arc, the entirety of Aldani arc. God, that was beautiful. The setup, the locale, the lore,
Yeah.
and how they played on real life political events na
Mhm.
nagpa-parallel dun sa events and yung phenomena. There's the eye which feels very Star Warsy at the same time. The mesh
Mm.
of those things, 'di ba? And it only shows then that episode na you know you can make pop culture and genre, film and TV as as riveting, as engaging as those prestige TV and award season movies. Then that it's not that good isn't only seen on within those peripheral of prestige circle, but rather it takes good writing and craftsmanship.
Yeah. Actually, yung everything, every planet they introduce, it's very, very well, like, well thought out, well
Mm-mm.
introduced, and just yung culture itself, ang, like, it's, di na nila kailangan spoon feed sa'yo, but it's
Mm.
just watched, it's there already, and this planet is fleshed out, the culture is fleshed out, everything is fleshed out.
The environment.
Yeah.
Natatandaan mo ba yung sa Narkina 5, yung bigla silang kinapture ng local fishermen?
Actually,
Gosh.
yeah, just moments like those, like, for the longest time, you think this is just a prison planet, but there are locals here, na local aliens, na may fishermen ganon, and
Oo, na
just from
describe
their,
din.
just from their bits of dialogue, na the empire
Oo.
has poisoned the water, yung mga ganon pala na
Oo.
di mo alam. Oh.
Which also reflects to real life circumstances, unfortunately.
Yeah, but speaking of real life, kasi for me the best moments are yung mga monologues. They're so
Absolutely, no
they're
doubt.
so like, they're so uh top notch. Ang daming monologues dito na very very timely, I should say.
Very fiery and punchy and powerful.
Yeah.
Parang it's like yung alam mo yung yung mga I'm not familiar with with music, with composing music, pero yung may rhythm.
Yeah, just from Nemec's manifesto. No, it Andor was listening to it in the finale, and
Mm-mm.
Luthen's speech, of course, and then Marva's speech. They all parang nagbi-build up sila to the final idea of what the rebellion is all about.
Mm-mm.
And
I felt
I really like the message. Talagang it hit home with me, especially yung, like, the situation, and now very
oh,
timely talaga siya.
and it's a gut punch rin in a way na that feels real and also at the same time cathartic then.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, so
Wait, excuse me. I think nakita ko na yung monologue na pinasa
uh,
kay Cassian. Rinig mo ko?
yeah, yeah,
Tell him wait lang. Tell him he knows everything he needs to know and feel everything he needs to feel, Brasso says. And when the day comes and those two pull together, he will be an unstoppable force for good.
yeah, I remember that.
That line, di ba? Parang it
And
sets up
also,
Rogue.
yeah, and also yung last line na, tell him I love him more than anything he can do wrong. It's just really a very motherly message to a son. Grabe.
Mm-mm.
I think it's really what uh what confirmed for Cassian, he's doing the right thing.
And it also, it gives a more emotional impact sa sacrifice niya sa Rogue One, di ba? It hurts more pag pinanood mo yung final scene na yon, di ba? Watching
Mm.
all those 12 episodes, di ba? Leading up to that.
Yeah, and I think it also says, like, Marva knows more about Andor's character than Andor realizes himself, because
Mm-mm.
Kasi for the longest time, sinasabi lang niya na he's just doing it for himself. He's doing it just to get by, for
Mm-mm.
Marva, for Bix. But Marva knows na Cassian is a like he's already on his way to becoming a rebel. He just doesn't
Oo.
realize it yet. But for some reason Marva already knows na dun yun yung path niya.
Oo, that's his place eh. And kasi if Cassian wants money, he could have just gone to another planet, take another smuggling job or a waiter job or a cleaner job or any job to have him get by. Pero magtataka ka, bakit niya sinusundan si Luthen? And then towards the end, parang parang inaffirm niya na ito na yung gusto niyang gawin.
Yeah, that was a great great ending. Just the way Luthen smiles, like
Yeah, God.
nag-click din sa ano niya, like this guy Andor, he's a rebel.
Mm, that scene, his satisfaction, that smile na ni Stellan Skarsgård was just the cherry on top. God,
Yeah,
grabe.
because ever since the first episode we seen Luthen, siya yung spy, he outplays everyone. So, but this is the first time na he got, outplayed by another person, si Cassian. So, I think that's really, what impressed him the most. He got
Mm.
he got on his plane, grabe, without him
Oo.
realizing, and he escaped the Empire like just like that, ganon.
Oo, and basically that Ferrex riot kasi sobrang gulo nun. It's so well guarded. Parang paano ka makakalusot doon, 'di ba? With just stormtroopers swarming.
Mm. And just his line na "kill me or take me in." I think
Yeah,
na-realize din ni Luthen na he
mm,
wants to be part of this.
hindi siya makakatiis kasi nakita niya na yung yung impact ni Cassian, and I think that was him being sold to the idea of Cassian wanting the job.
Mm. Yeah,
Gosh.
grabe. Ang
Oo,
ganda talaga.
ang lupit.
Everything's well written, every arc, every character arc, kahit yung mga side characters lang.
Ah, yeah.
Ganda ng
Especially yung
progression.
palitan ni Cinta and Vel na I saw an ISB agent, sabi niya, a woman, and then sabi ni Vel, is she prettier than me? Those parang banter, yung jealous girlfriend.
Yeah, oh. And their relationship is like pretty good din. So I'd like to see more of them in the next season.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So speaking of next season, what are your expectations for what's coming next?
Well, since thankfully na they let the characters live, sana they Tony Gilroy and the writers and also Bo Wilmon who's coming back for season 2 flesh out these characters more,
Mm,
we know about them pero let's look deeper than sa relationships nila and other interactions then. And syempre, I mean, inevitable din naman that we'll see some familiar rebel faces like um
I want to see
Gen
Belchi again.
yeah, I mean for sure he's gonna be there since
Yeah,
it's gonna lead to Rogue One. And Bail Organa, and then you've got General Draven.
yeah.
You
Actually, no. So season 2 will be so we'll have a time jump. It it will be like a year before Rogue One. So it's really
mm,
a big time jump. So I think interesting kung saan na yung position ng mga characters at this time.
oh, and dun sa remaining 12 episodes with each 3 episode covering a year, parang it could go right and it could go wrong then kasi ang dami na ding time jumps sa The Crown and House of the Dragon and sometimes hit or miss then.
Mm. Well, with House of the Dragon kasi they did it too much. So
Oo nga, was kind of confusing then. Hopefully, ano rin, hopefully it feels complete then. Parang, siguro, by going then sa how three episode arc structure plays out, it'll be a pivotal moment dun sa sa each of those 4 years na yun.
yeah, so yeah, for me, I think uh maybe we'll finally see a rebel base since medyo
Yeah.
significant na yung time jump. Maybe mas like Andor is more of a squad leader here.
Mm,
Maybe there. So
mm. He's gonna go full James Bond, and we'll be seeing Yavin 4 as confirmed by Tony Gilroy and K2SO.
mm. Oh yeah. Yung ano nila, yeah, yung pairing nila. So
Mm,
interested to know how will they tell that story. And also, like they said nga they're not really into fan service cameos, but
mm,
I think it would make sense if we see maybe director Krennic here, Ben Mendelsohn from Rogue One.
mm. Actually, parang nabanggit ata ni Stellan Skarsgård yun or ni Forrest Whitaker na nasa set. Baka
S-
siguro na-cut yung scenes niya or something.
Especially with the post credits ng finale. Have you seen the post credits ng finale? May post credits siya if people don't know. The season 1 Andor finale has a post credit scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys should stay tuned then for Disney Plus users.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so I will say na so there's a post credit scene na the it's the just basically confirming na yung ginagawa nila sa uh, Narkina 5, yung parang spiral thing machines na ginagawa nila sa prison are Death
Oo.
Star parts. So
Ta-
we see the
oo.
end the post credits finale. They use the spiral things to as parts for the Death Star. Yeah.
Yeah, that was chilling then, and also in a way then Cassian was also part of a plan of working on this planet killer, and he's also had a hand on death of millions of people. Condolences Alderan and to himself as well, diba?
Yeah, for example, yeah, for Melshi and Cassian talaga, it's really like a full circle for them.
Mm. It
Yeah, so kaya ko rin nabanggit na maybe we'll see kahit cameo lang or kahit short scene with Ben Mendelsohn as director Krennic or maybe Galen Erso. So since we're closer to Rogue One and the Death Star
mm,
is right there na yun.
oo. I think it's very possible then kasi Disney Lucasfilm has money and probably they'll just work around on Ben Mendelsohn's schedule. Maybe would would probably seen siguro a minute cameo or siguro one episode na naka-center sa kanya
Yeah,
and
just an episode will do fine, I think.
mm,
Mm,
and also Mads Mikkelsen for sure na he has to be there kasi he's the architect of Project Stardust.
yeah. So yeah, so those are my expectations for season 2, and I hope it's as good as season 1 or even better. But I have my trust with Tony Gilroy and the whole crew.
I'm sure it will be fantastic. Planado na rin. And they
Mhm.
had everything planned out. So for sure it will be another banger and
Yeah,
hindi naman siya open or flexible uh or stretch na TV projects like Mando or
yeah,
Boba Fett. At least ito meron silang concrete plans,
yeah.
beginning, middle, and
It will be a long wait though since 2024 palalabas yung season 2. So
oo
yeah,
eh.
It's gonna be a long, agonizing wait.
Siyempre, kasi the number of episodes and kasi originally they planned it out for 5 seasons each. Each one takes place a
Mm.
year. Parang zero BBY leading up to 5 BBY, which leads to Rogue One. So,
Oh,
kung gagawin mo yung logistics at saka yung scale ng filming cycle in every 2 years, tapos gagawin mo yun, it would take probably 10 years tops or a decade. And Diego Luna would probably 50 by the final season and he wouldn't look 20 plus in Rogue
yeah.
One, di ba?
It's gonna be
That would
older than he is in Rogue One.
Oo, at saka sila Stellan Skarsgård. I mean, no offense and to Forrest Whitaker. So what we got right now is a nice compromise and a nice trade-off then for viewers then who wouldn't need to watch. Parang
Yeah.
ang trade-off then is shorter waiting time and would probably have an impactful, eventful season 2 na each episode will definitely be a banger.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Forrest Whitaker, I want to see more Saw Gerrera. Like, yeah, we got some scenes with him here, but I think he's gonna play a more prominent role than in the
Mm-mm.
second season. So yeah, that's it.
I'm sure they'd probably do the inevitable na how he got his accident in Rogue One or his parang damage sa lungs niya,
Oo,
di ba?
yung yeah, kasi meron siyang parang inhaler.
Or probably we'll see something that happening along the lines then.
Mm. And their relationship with his relationship with Galen Erso, no? So
Mm-mm.
since it's been touched upon in Rogue One, so maybe we'll see it here. Yeah, so I think yeah, so kaya mas naisip ko rin na maybe Galen and Krennic will appear. So but yeah, we'll see.
But for sure, it'll be Rogue One centric season. That's for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that's it for this episode. You have anything to add pa, Pico?
Well, again, catch Andor on Disney Plus, all 12 episodes streaming, and see you on 2024.
Yeah, you can binge it now since all episodes are out.
Okay, that's it. I'm Mico.
And I'm Drew, and thank you for listening to this episode of FlipGeeks podcast about finale of Andor.
Good night, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.